ค่ะ Hello everyone welcome back to Humanity Views stories from online classes so for today we have a special request and we have three important guests here let me introduce myself first I'm Ajahn Pla from Center for International Studies okay we meet again here for this episode in Thai we have the name for it called เคล็ดไม่ลับสอนออนไลน์สไตล์อาจารย์ต่างชาติ so for today we are going to conduct this episode all mainly in English and before we go with that let me invite the three guests here to introduce themselves briefly okay let's start with the lady first all right okay
my name is Ikumi Matsui I'm teaching Japanese at the LCI
all right and then
Hi, my name is Justin Bartlett and I'm also teaching on the LCI, that's the Language for Korea's international program. I teach in the areas of psychology and philosophy through the medium of English.
Okay, thank you. And
Hi, good morning. My name is Ajahn Lee. I work also in LCI, teaching business courses.
Okay, so we have quite a combination here from Ajahn Ikumi, Ajahn Justin, and Ajahn Lee. Okay, all of them are our foreign colleagues from Center for International Studies here at the Faculty of Humanities. Okay, before we go right into our question, for today I'm trying my best to accommodate our audience, our fans, our fan club's requests to unlock the secrets. Okay, they wanted to hear from our special guests of their online teaching, international teacher styles of how they manage their classes online. Okay, let's continue with our first question. All right, I would like to ask all of you. Okay, so if you want to jump right in, feel free. Okay. So my first question would be: have you ever taught online courses prior to COVID-19 pandemic? If it's a yes, okay, if it's a yes, could you share what you have done? Was it similar or different to what you have done in the previous semester? But if it's a no, okay, if it's a no, how did you manage to teach remotely?
Okay, I'll start.
All right.
Personally, I haven't had any prior experience of teaching online, so it was the first time and a new experience, and we'll get more into the details, I guess, about how we coped with that. But I think it was a good experience. It was good to learn new techniques, and I guess we can even keep these skills and learn about it in order to use these techniques and skills and programs and software again if we need to in the future. So for me, it's the first time, but it was a good experience.
Quite exciting.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. So Ajahn Ikumi.
Oh yes I also never thought about online teaching then, but I found after I did it I experienced so many things. Then the students are very helpful for me through the course.
Okay. Yes, right. They are very brilliant, right?
Yes.
Such a good helper. All right. So what about you, Ajahn Lee?
Again, I never taught online, although I was in a commercial environment working for a company when video conferencing started.
All right.
Now, back then, I dread to think what year that was, but because the technology was so new, there were so many more problems in terms of connecting in order to have basically boardroom meetings.
Okay.
And I can assure you we have come on a long, long way since then. However, what that did was gave me quite a feeling of dread when it was announced we were going online, because of course I instantly remembered all of these meetings where and all of a sudden you lose the picture and everything like that. But so the IT has moved on, and also I think the learners know certainly than myself know much more about the IT.
Yeah, they're savvy. They're tech savvy.
Exactly, I couldn't agree more. Okay, so meaning that all of us are actually start from the same foundation. I'm like a newcomer in online classes as well. So, could I ask you any challenging experiencing here that you find quite most challenges to you while trying to manage online classes apart from the bad signals, okay? What did you do?
I think just some of the kind of initial problems were things like the time that we had to prepare from knowing that we had to move to online study to actually delivering the classes online we had a time period which was great given to us by the university, but still we had to really get going quickly. That meant we had a short period of time in which to learn how to use a new program, decide what program we were going to use, organize our students. We have hundreds of students in our classes, so organizing them is a big feat. And I think the other for pedagogy, for teaching, I think it's really important to consider, based on the kind of class, subject, content that you're teaching, consider how you're going to deliver that through this medium, and if your normal style of teaching in a lecture hall or classroom doesn't translate well through that, then you're going to have to seriously think about changing the way you do that. And so it's actually not a straightforward process of just saying, well, we've got a new medium, it's fine, just take your normal class and teach it online. It may translate easily, but that will depend on the kinds of classes. And I imagine, Ikumi, that your language classes were more difficult because they required more interaction.
So what did you do?
Oh yes, main purpose for my subject to communicate a daily communication. So I was in trouble to adjust the contents to the online classes, but I thought to prepare the online course, maybe I should take not only the Zoom, not only the online class, to use the line communication every day. So
that was great too.
Really, we had a small conversation one by one with each student. So it was time consuming, but maybe we can be more closer to talk about the daily things, like just what time did you wake up? Then the student reply. Then I reply again. Then they reply. How can I say to their levels, in their levels? Then I can reply with their levels. Then can see this student has this kind of problem. Then I can correct, or maybe I can advise somehow. That was very nice, I feel.
All right. Okay. And what about
so it gave you more kind of one-to-one teaching.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's great. I think it also one of the important things when you move online is to keep the rapport between the teacher and the students. And it sounds like that is a great way of doing that. Because it's difficult, isn't it? The mode of communication allows for a lot less interaction. I mean, we've all been teaching classes of 35, 50, 100 students, and you can guarantee you can't see all of them at the same time, but also you can't see some of them at all because they've turned the screens off or what have you. And it makes it very difficult for the teacher to get any feedback and keep that rapport going, which is so important. No, that's great.
Yeah. The point that all of you have made has, been very great. It also depends on the nature of the courses as well. Ajahn Justin have taught like content-based, right? So that's why you look at more specifically on the content and the understanding of the students on that particular contents,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Ajahn Ikumi just touch on skill base. So it's more of like rapport management, just like Ajahn Lee mentioned, that you need to actually, kind of maintain the relationship with the students to be able to bring in their attention to the content
I
and the
think
skills
that kind
practice.
that kind of content where you
Right.
need that interaction with the language-based stuff, especially. You really have to think carefully about how you're going to deliver it. And I think you obviously took some time to really work out, like, how am I going to do this, and who, in which way is the best way, and how am I going to tell my students who I'm not with right now, how am I going to tell them how to do it, and of course that will have taken a lot more of your time.
Oh yes.
Right. Because, so it's about being dedicated to your work too, and you may have to put more time and effort in, but I think in the long run it's good, right?
Exactly.
From it.
So could I ask a little bit more? What were your students' feedbacks? Anyone in your online classes have said something to the way you conduct your classes, or the way they have to cope with this, the COVID-19 online teaching and learning?
Well, you mean other than the students laughing at my low level of IT literacy?
Yeah, well, I've been in there too,
I think I asked, can you see that on your screen? More times than enough. Hey?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
But I think, serious point, I think a lot of the teachers are in the same position, and it's important just to go baby steps with that. Like, I decided, okay, I'm just going to try and keep to one app for my lessons.
That's good, actually. Yeah.
And learn how to use that, and hopefully after the end of how long was it, 6 weeks that we were online, hopefully I'm a bit better now than I was at the start, undoubtedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, baby step is, simple. I think
Yeah,
simple is
for sure.
always great.
Yeah, I think that point, I know it's kind of related to the previous question, but just to pick up on that point about consistency of the way you deliver, that's important as well for the teacher and the learner. In terms of feedback, I didn't really receive any feedback that was specifically about those those online lectures, but about the idea of feedback in general is, I felt like I had a lot. Personally, I felt a bit disoriented sometimes because I didn't have that connection with my students, that physical connection. And I found that they weren't, although there were channels open to them through email or Google Classroom or whatever, to contact me and ask me about their work actually during the semester online.
Okay.
There was very little interaction between students and I, which is a very different experience to how I normally to what I normally have in the classroom, where students often come and ask me about things, the nature of their work, especially if they're doing research, that they need to do that. So that left me worried because I didn't know how they were doing, if they were struggling, or where they were with their work, and I just hope they were okay. I mean, they all passed at the end, so that's okay. But possibly that it's a psychological barrier as well as a physical barrier, that they feel like contacting me through email is more difficult, or perhaps they're gang jai, perhaps they're just being a bit considerate and worried about disturbing me. I'm not sure, but I definitely saw reduced interaction with my students.
Okay.
Comes back to keeping the rapport, doesn't it? I think that's why it's important
exactly.
in terms
that's
of.
the thing that we need, that I need to address, I guess.
And I think
if it's
Agumi's use of Line app is a classic of that. And if you can have some sort of a chat room, forum, thread going on with your students, as well as the timed classes, I think it is very necessary in terms of not only for the students, but to get the feedback to the teacher as well.
Yeah.
Gives them a feel for how it's going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I couldn't agree more. So let me pick that up from that point. So all of you agree that to have rapport management, to have consistency using Line application, and probably some sort of what we call Google Classroom,
Yeah.
right? That's what Ajahn Justin mentioned, actually outside of this discussion that he have shared with me. So apart from these 2 points, do you have any suggestion for future online courses? Because for next semester, we will have to do this again, like for sure, at least half of the semester. So what would be your suggestion?
I think just going back to kind of where we started with the IT problems.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't think I had any students that weren't able to get online.
All right.
So obviously these days it's most important to be able to do that, and the connections stay good mostly.
Okay.
I think it's important to try and stress the timings to the learners.
All right.
It's quite off-putting and disruptive still if people are joining lessons or leaving lessons early. If you can stress to the learners, and the learners that are doing all the different courses, if they can keep to a stricter time regime, I know it's difficult, but it does pay off for them in the end as well, of course, because they don't miss anything.
Right. That's a good point.
And one final quick tip from me, if you're using Line or something like that, and you often get learners joining the class at the start, and the first thing you hear is, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you see me?" Put some music on. If you put some music on, then they can hear the music, so they know the audio's good.
Okay.
And if they're dancing around, you can see that they can see you as well.
All right. That's
So
great point.
maybe that's something you want to try.
All right. Thank you. And what about you?
Yeah, I think those things are all good suggestions. We were talking about those things and sharing those experiences together yesterday as well. I guess my tip would be that actually, like, share, talk to other people, other colleagues, and see what they're doing. I mean, we've probably learned from each other just in this last few minutes while we've been talking here about different things, and you probably can learn things from your colleagues by sharing that information and seeing how they've managed things, and incorporating it into the way you organize and manage your classes. I think it does take it takes more management, making sure teaching online, making sure you've got everything planned in the right way. It takes a lot more management, just something that I found worked well for some of my more theory-based, content-heavy courses was that I also pre-recorded most of my lectures.
Okay.
And that there are pros and cons to that, actually. The problems are things like rapport, possibly. So maybe myself, I'm thinking of doing the same thing in the next term, but backing it up with one lecture, one pre-recorded lecture, and one live class per week that will act as a discussion class based on that previous lecture, so that we have that connection and that kind of one-on-one interaction as well, or rather live interaction. And but pre-recording those kind of lectures works quite well. You can make sure that the sound quality is good and the picture's clear, your slides are there clearly, and the students are able to access that and watch that several times if they need to, and whenever they want to, and they can download it as well if they need to. So that's something that worked well for me, but it's not something that you can do for all classes all the time.
I agree. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What about Ajahn Ikumi?
Yes, but it's good time to share the idea like this. Today I learned a lot.
Me too.
Really? But I found there are so many things we can do online anyway. So I will let's say use that something new in my online classes for the next semester as well.
So far, all of you, have you enjoyed the new normal online classes, or would you prefer to go back to traditional classroom settings? This is my final question since our time constraint here.
Simply give me a classroom anytime. No, it's okay. We're all able to do it and cope with it.
Okay.
Do I enjoy it? Yeah. No, I don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
But it's getting used to it, I think. But of course, traditional, you can't beat it. Being with people.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right.
Yes, I'd agree. I would definitely,
too.
surprise,
Me too.
surprise, I would definitely love to go back into the classroom as soon as possible. However, it is what it is. We are where we are, and you have to adopt and adapt. So
All right. Yeah, I love that.
things
Adopt
like
and
this move things forward and help the teachers to be more comfortable teaching online, hopefully.
Okay. So in these last few minutes, I would like to thank you, our special guests, once again for coming in today and sharing great experiences. Also, effective strategies, I think. That's what I call hybrid strategies, right? Opening up music, together with pre-recording session and rapport management. All of this that all our fans could, do it, adopt and adapt. And whenever we have a chance, we probably could get into our old classroom once again. Okay, so thank you, and I'll see you for next episode. Stay tuned. สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.